This one gets really weird and interesting, so I do recommend you watch through all of this video because some of it is kinda weird. Citizens of the ancient world, it's time to build an Egyptian empire. Well, we're gonna try. This is Builders of Egypt, and I was sent a preview code a couple days before its release, and this game has been coming along for a long time. 6 years, I think it's been, where initially it was called Hard Ancient Life, but then it became Builders of Egypt. And we've been trying to get into this game for a little bit, but there's some performance things that I should mention before you jump into this game. So first of all, to clarify, I am recording and streaming while doing this, so some of my resources are taken up by the game. But even so, if we jump into the settings menu here, first of all, there's only 3 audio sliders: master, music, and sound effects. And generally we need more than that. Cinematics, voices, those need separate audio sliders. Keyboard and mouse keys are rebindable, so that's fine. Gameplay and user interface, some language settings, okay, cool. Video and graphics, this is the part where I'm gonna be talking about. I've had to drop the resolution, and I might have to drop the frame rate to 30 frames a second to actually show you this game. There is resolution scale, but dropping that is just gonna make everything blurrier. And these settings right now, I've set it to medium, because if I set it any higher, the game takes 90% of my GPU, and I have an RTX 3080. So, this game is eating a lot of resources. So I'm gonna jump into the game here. I'm gonna press campaign, and new campaign. I am GamerZakh, gonna submit that. And there is a campaign, which is good. Campaign is good. I'm gonna press play and see what this is gonna do. Because here is where it starts to eat resources.
First Egyptians established arable fields, mainly for spelt, barley, and date palm, because their meals were based on bread and beer. Cattle,
okay,
pigs,
we're still okay.
goats,
This voice acting is still going, but
most
also
often tasty and nutritious fish of various species.
I don't
supplied
know
by
whether
the
this is an AI voice, because it reads everything as kind of flat tone. And also, if you see this, it reads, if you scroll down, all of this, it reads all of this text. All of it. Because if you hire someone to read all of this text for, it goes on. It just keeps going, right? It reads all of this. So I'm pretty sure it's AI. If it's not, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure it's AI. Because to pay someone to read all of this text and that much text for every mission, it's actually very expensive. Yeah, it sounds, because there's no acting happening, right? There's no acting. So if this was done by an actor, I apologize. It's just in the age of AI, that's what it sounds like. I'm gonna press start because he doesn't stop. He just keeps going. All of that text. It's like 8 paragraphs of text. It's too much text. Okay, we're in the game. Okay. A glorious capital for Egypt, Kemet. The ruler of Upper Egypt, King Narmer, conquered Lower Egypt and united the kingdom of the Nile. Now the country needs a capital. King Aha, Narmer's successor, sends you to Memphis, okay, to supervise the construction of this magnificent city, a political, administrative, and religious center, which will become home to the royal family and thanks to its monumentality will strengthen its authority. Winning conditions: gather 600 pottery, 500 bricks, 50 dwellers. Prosperity, gather. Okay, the language here is a bit weird. Gather pottery, gather dwellers? We're gonna round them up? Gather 5 prosperity? Okay, fine. Now, this game, as I was talking about performance and settings, I have dropped things to medium and at 1080p. Right now, the game is taking about 30% of my GPU. I've got my task manager open so I can keep you informed on this. Now, visually, I'm gonna say at this zoom level, it's not looking all that good, right? You can see things like this happening. And now if you zoom in, the pop-in is insanely harsh, right? It's going from basically, so these are billboards. They're flat sprites, right? They just always face the camera. So if you move around, you see these things turn. Very GTA San Andreas, very late 90s, early 2000s, right? You see those trees there, right? Up there. They just turn to face. They become 3D when it gets close enough to the camera. Now, the game right now, because it depends on the zoom level, here the game is taking about 35% to 40% of my GPU. If you zoom in and some of the details come in, and you see this grass just comes straight in here, right? And all this pop-in happens. The game is now taking 60% of my GPU. And at this zoom level here, it's reaching 70% of my GPU, 75%, 80% of my GPU, right about here. And then it starts going back down. And things are going to start lagging out when I go through that zoom level there, right? And then we get to here, and it gradually drops back down to 35% of my GPU. And going through that, it doesn't look good enough to do that. But also, if I go to the settings and remind everyone, oh, my encoding is still overloaded, so I might have to just cut right here to fix my encoding for this recording. Okay, so doing that actually just killed my GPU. Like, not killed in a literal sense, it's just completely overloaded it, so my recording and everything just lags out and dies. So I actually have to go to the video and graphics here. I'm dropping the frame rate to 30, and I'm gonna jump back into the game, and we're gonna just double check the GPU. So now it basically, because 60 to 30 is half, right? It is taking about half my GPU. So now, like at the max zoom in, it's taking about 15%, and the killer part was around here, and it's now hitting like 30% there, 35% there, 40% here. So yeah, it's basically now taking half the resources because I've halved the frame rate, which is kind of the only way I can show you this game. Now, reminder, I have an RTX 3080. So, also, this pop-in, I just want to make a note here about this pop-in. I'm going to go to the settings, and I'm going to go to the videos and graphics, and I'm going to go to view distance and just set it to the maximum of cinematic, right? Because I want to be fair. I don't want to be like, oh, the pop-in is because of the low view distance, right? I'm going to jump back into the game here. This is the maximum view distance. Okay. So this pop-in is kind of weird to me, because also the pop-in is so harsh because the sprite graphic looks almost nothing like the 3D tree, right? This is so pale and yellow, and this is so dark, and it's not because of the shadows either, because if I go into the graphics and I turn down the shadows to low, the lowest the shadows can go, and I'm saving that, and I'm going back into the game, it's still toned completely differently. So for some reason, the sprite graphics are way brighter than the 3D models and how they've been textured. Is this early access? This is what they're calling release. So yeah, the pop-in is called LOD, L-O-D, level of detail. And you see this a lot in Skyrim, right? Where, because they want this far view distance, the thing, you can't render 3D stuff everywhere forever, right? You have to have like a flat texture, and then when you get close enough, it pops into the 3D stuff. But the idea is you have the flat texture basically look like a screenshot of the 3D thing. But in this case, the flat texture in the distance looks completely different. So the pop-in happens there. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I could play at a zoom level where everything pretty much looks correct, right? But then you still have the pop-in problem because there's another LOD here, another LOD level, where the smaller trees are on another LOD pop-in. So these bigger trees pop in at about this zoom level, and then the smaller trees pop in at about that zoom level. So even if you play at a zoom level where the big trees are not popping in, the smaller trees are constantly popping in. So to avoid any pop-in for the LOD, for the level of detail, see, then these smaller trees, you have to get even closer. You have to play at about this zoom level. You still see a little bit around the edges. Like, to really dodge all pop-in, you have to play at about this zoom level. Okay. Now, as Dan in the chat says, if gameplay is good, it will trump this issue. Correct. So, we need to play at this zoom level. And at this zoom level, I can actually turn some things back up. I'm gonna stay at 1080p and 30 frames. But maybe we can have slightly better graphics. Let's go up to high and see if that kills my computer. And I think that is functioning. So I just am not gonna zoom out. I'm gonna stay at this zoom level. So I have now made the game look as best as I can make it look. Okay? If I can't go any higher on the graphics, and at this zoom level, there's no pop-in. Let's just imagine the camera has been capped to here. Okay, so now we're gonna play the game. So I wanted to go over all of that, because if you get into the game now, you might have these performance issues depending on your setup. If you have a beefy computer, then you'll play it okay. But just check that first before anything. So here, let's get through the tutorial. You'll learn the basic rules of the game. Now, I played the prologue of this years ago. Let's see what's changed. Press space to continue. In ancient Egypt, the idea of currency was unknown. Using bread, we know that. Good. Okay, it sends us over here. Build a road. Build house and road. Road. Let's do this. We're supposed to build the road like this. To where? The trees are blocking my vision. Okay. And I'm thinking, are we supposed to just fill all of this up? Okay. So we'll do... Oh, it's click and click. Okay. So I would zoom out, but I think my computer would die. So let's just scroll around and try find all the parts. Good. Okay, select house from the building list. So tutorialization seems okay. It's highlighting the things we're supposed to be clicking. And these... Can they rotate? Oh, they can rotate. R key rotates the houses. I think it doesn't matter which way they're facing, but let's rotate them. Why do I hear fire? Okay, maybe that's just the noise of the houses being built. Okay. Well, placed correctly, the houses will, and the inhabitants will move in. So desirability, and we get messages down here behind me. Okay. Press space to continue. Remember, you can always demolish a building. Okay. So demolish the highlighted road. So this is the demolish button. Standard city building. Good. Fire station. Yep. Let's do this. We need to rotate it to face the right way. So some buildings can be facing anyway. Some buildings have specific orientations. Okay. Note the fire station range. Okay, it's... Oh, okay, I see. And these are the people moving in. Coming to city. Can't find a job. Makes sense. Oh no, it zoomed me in. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit here. Okay. Note that each house has its own range. The houses themselves have range. I don't know... Okay, yeah. So there is a range there. Cool. So each house has a range as well, and it is shown. As you develop your settlement, you may need to upgrade your house in order to provide more workers. So what kind of upgrading are we doing? Is it Anno style or Impression style? Give them the stuff and they upgrade? Okay, they need water. Sanitation, well, and we can pop that down. Oh, but the well range is rather low. It doesn't hit all the houses. It doesn't highlight which ones are in. Like, I'm assuming that edge house is actually covered, and only one house is not covered by this. Once the well is filled, houses will level up, and their occupancy, as long as their occupancy is at 100%. So the house has to be filled before it upgrades. Okay. Production chains, clay pits. So yes, let's go to where production, clay pit. Has to be facing that way. Each production and manufacturing building requires workers. Yes, good. Production chains may sometimes require the extraction of more than one material. So that means we need to get straw going. Food production, wheat farm. And that goes there. And we also have to build a stockpile. This all feels relatively familiar. Stockpile functions similarly to Pharaoh as well, with the squares. Okay, so the stockpiles have an unlimited range, meaning they can very well pick up products from anywhere on the map. Okay, cool. And we also need a brickworks. So when there's arrows like this, yeah, it's the entrance mechanics feels a little interesting, but I'm unsure of how impactful that's gonna be. We also need a pottery. Potter. Good. So the buildings themselves and everything look pretty good. Was that them getting... Oh, they're leveling up, I see. Yes, good. Some production buildings require specific conditions or locations. Wells must be built near the rivers. Woodcutters require forests, and so on. Okay, remember that buildings within a single production chain must have been connected to the same road network. Makes sense. Inhabitants require food. Yeah, so you can see the requirements by clicking on the house and seeing low desirability. Yeah. Build a fishing wharf. Fishing wharf. Yeah, it just needs to be half on land, half on water. And build a granary. And build a bazaar. Administrative building? Bazaar is administrative? Okay. And then we open the region map. There it is up there. Tinis. This region map looks nice. Like the river, the Nile is a little blocky at parts, but actually this feels quite good to look at. Our city is here, so it's showing Tinis. Your settlement, as well as every other settlement currently known to you, is visible on the region map. Click on the selected settlement to see what is trading. This? Okay, to open a trade route, select Tinis. This will... And then we want to open trade route. It costs 200 bread. Number of breads to be exchanged. Plural. Does breads work like fish and fishes? Like, is breads multiple different types of bread? The people movement is laggy. Keep in mind, I am running at 30 FPS. So if you're used to 60 FPS, things might look a little laggy, but just keep that in mind. Some things might just be laggy, though. Yeah, Tinis, I assume it means Tinis, but how it is spelt in Latin text, I'm not gonna worry about too much. The trade route has been opened. From time to time, a trader or a ship will come. Okay, good. Click the economy icon. Oh, this one. Economy tab. You can export the goods you already use, and you can export to Abydos? Are we talking about Tinis? Okay, tutorial problem. Wrong city mentioned. Wait, no. The goods you... Maybe it means Abydos. This is import. Oh wait, no, I have to be here. Wait. Export? I'm a little bit lost with the tutorial in terms of what it's asking me to do. So I'm now set to export bricks. Oh, when it says import bricks, it means that city is importing the bricks. Okay. Just semantics. So our city is exporting. Tinis is importing the bricks. So when it says import bricks on this tab, it refers to Tinis. So this is just a slight UI design thing. Now, reminder, I am trained in game and UI design and all of that stuff. There's no fixed highlight for what you're on here. So when I was here, I was like, our city, import bricks? But I want to export bricks. Like, I didn't realize I was on Tinis. Like, this highlight should stay when it's here. So it's like, oh, okay, we're on Tinis. Right? Because that's what confused me. Right? Like, just looking at this screen, I thought our city was selected. And then it was like, oh, import the bricks. Press space to continue. Knowing the basics of the game, you can focus on completing the mission to recall the conditions of victory. Why is it telling me to click? Oh, mission description. Okay, a glorious capital. So we need to produce 600 pottery, export 500 bricks. We've got the stuff already. So just have to get the things done. These are the most essential rules of the game. As you progress through the game, more information will be available. Close the economy tab. Close the region map. Oh, no, I don't, sorry. Are you sure? No. Close the region map. The birth of the heir to the throne, Prince Jer. Prince Jer has been born. Nile floods farmland. Okay. It's throwing too many pop-ups at me here. So, this person has been born? Sure. As it does every year, the Nile has emerged from its banks and covered all the floodplains with its waters. So, this wheat farm... I think the flood happened when I wasn't looking. So, okay. No stockpile available. A trader arriving in town cannot find an available stockpile to trade one of the commodities. Right. So this stockpile is supposed to be holding... So gather. Don't... So we want to be gathering bricks. And this functions similarly, right? Can I shift click or control click or something to have this set to half? Fine, I'm just gonna click it. Can you click and hold? You can't click and hold. Wait. You can't click and hold. Oh, you can type it in. Oh, very programmer. 2400. Okay. That's easier to type in if you have a numpad. Sure. Okay. So I assume the trader arrived. And we see Anku delivering resources. Okay, so all of these are... You can rename people? Okay. Pharaoh Aha marries Nehotep. What does this... I mean, I can click on this, but it just shows me this. Is this the wedding? Residents do not feel safe. Makes sense. Wait, I can't rename... How come I could rename that person? Why can I rename this? Sorry, you're now named Dust. No, what? Where'd she go? Where'd they go? There you are. So this... Why am I allowed... If I press enter, it just can't... Why am I allowed to rename them? Okay. I'm gonna say okay to this message here. Nile floods farmland. Production building is full. Desirability is a thing. Okay. So I assume we are producing... Yeah, we're producing bricks, and the bricks should go into here. And then we should sell the bricks. Okay. Why is that person highlighted? Is it because people just don't feel safe? Okay, fine. Now, as Erez says in chat, as I pause here while we accumulate our resources, this does feel quite unfinished. Like, just this. I assume there was a functionality of renaming your people at some point for some reason, and that has not been removed, because I can't rename this guy. I can rename this guy. So, wait. Oh, you can rename them, but the hitbox for where you can click is just the top. It's these things, right? Well, I mean, I say you can rename. It allows you to type, but if you press enter, it just resets. I like, maybe if I just remove it and click off, no, it resets as well, right? So, I feel like there was the ability to rename them at some point, but now you're not allowed to, but they forgot to remove the ability to type these messages. Type these names. I'm still scared to zoom out. If I zoom out too much, my graphics card dies. Okay, so this person's running along. Look at that donkey trying to keep up. This is the trader. Okay, so wants to buy bricks. They bought 200 bricks. The wares are bought, plus 338. Okay, so we gain bread because that's the currency. Okay. So I do like the bread as currency thing. It's a throwback to Children of the Nile, where Children of the Nile is this old city builder. I think its full name is actually called Immortal Cities Children of the Nile. And when you first start playing that game, it feels terrible. Because it's actually trying to be more realistic with its society and how things function. And because it's trying to be more realistic, it uses bread as a currency as well. So I do like the historical touches so far in Builders of Egypt. It's mentioning, like, people being born and people being married, which, according to people in the chat, they say it is historically accurate, right? The people being born, the people, like, the events happening, the bread, how, like, what is being depicted seems historically accurate, which is nice. It's just performance and optimization is going to be a big point. Also, in terms of the laggy walkers, some seem to be lagging and others not. It might be part of the simulation that I've got the simulation settings, so I assume this is linked to under video and graphics. There's this number of house NPCs. If I drop it to off and save that and go back into the game. Sorry, the game was paused for some reason. I thought they all just froze. All right, we're off now. No, for some reason the game was paused. So I don't know what's controlling this because I turned them off. House NPCs? Is it like... Because I see you there. You think it's worse in other cities? Okay. So I'm not too sure what this setting controls then. Oh, it requires a level reload for the full effect to apply. Okay, fine. That's why. It needs to reload the level. I assume then these people walking around are controlled by that. This game needs a 4090 to run. Well, you can, like, I played this on a 3080 and it plays okay, but I can't also record it. So if you have a 3080, this will run. I do not know about a 2080. You may have to start dropping settings on a 2080 for this. Okay, so these are our resources over here. If I'm just checking the mission description, why have we only gathered 100 pottery? Like, what is taking so long? We have this clay pit. It is producing clay. This is the potter. which is producing pottery. Do we have to stockpile? Look, we have 1,300 pottery in there. I think it's asking us to stockpile the resources. So can I drop how much we're holding here? Oh, I gotta type it in. I wish this was just by default, like, set to, like, fractions. Let's just set this to 1,000. What is this? Fish. Fish is fine. Have as much fish as you like. What is this percentage? I don't know. Is that window changing size, or is it just changing position? That feels a bit weird, because it gets bigger the further away you are. Oh, because it's linked to the zoom, but it's also linked to the camera position. So when you move the camera, this menu moves around as well. Yeah, I think it might be an illusion in terms of the size changing, but it's not in a fixed position, which means, like, quite often menus are going beneath each other. Now you can actually, this is a 3D game, you can actually rotate the camera a little bit like this. You can't see the sky horizon, but you can look around. Now, visually, I think this game looks quite nice. Like, not the best. When I say it looks quite nice, when you're zoomed in and there's no LOD things happening, like, it looks quite nice. And there is a built-in gamma setting, which I think a lot of you will be appreciative of, because I think even this looks a bit bright. Let's try drop it down a little bit. Like, that might be a little bit more to your liking. It does seem like it's a perpetual evening time. Or is it morning time? I don't think the shadows are moving. Just checking. Yeah, I think it's fixed time of day. See, if you look close up on the foliage, it's as good as you would expect it to be. Did they put a 960 as recommended? I would not recommend playing this on a 960. Like, you probably could if you dropped everything down to low and 30 frames a second and played zoomed in. Well, I guess it depends how zoomed in you want to play. I just found another level of detail pop in. The people's shadows have a even closer pop in. I'm just trying to find a zoom level where I don't see pop-ins. But also, just keep in mind when it comes to pop-ins, there's a lot of new tech in terms of how they're handled. Like, if you think of Mana Lords, they use this tech where it seamlessly blends the level of detail coming in and out. Well, I say seamlessly, it's as seamless as we've ever seen, right? Where you can be massively zoomed out and zoom right on in, and zoom way back out. And by the way, Mana Lords, even in its earliest demo, did not lag when I did that. I do not have any lag on maximum graphics in Mana Lords. Just to point that out. In Mana Lords. And the LOD in Mana Lords is practically seamless. Unless you're really trying to see when the grass fades in, it's very hard to see. And I think that's a new feature in Unreal Engine or something, right? But also there's, if you've ever played No Man's Sky, there's also the LOD sort of graphically fading in. It's not just fading in, it's sort of a, there's a textured effect of it fading in and out. You see that in No Man's Sky. I think they've updated their graphics so many times, but it used to be like that in No Man's Sky. And that had a fade in. some LODs also, they just fade in anyway. So instead of just popping in, it's like fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out. And that might have a bit more performance issues as well, but since you have to pop it in anyway, I don't think it would change too much depending on how it's programmed. But it's just the pop-ins in this game, it's really harsh. Now you're asking how far you can zoom out. Maybe if I do it fast enough, it won't kill my recording. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna zoom out all the way. You ready? Okay. Max zoom out. Because so many things have unloaded, it doesn't kill my computer. This is max zoom out. You can see the pop-in is quite harsh everywhere. Like, it is very noticeable. There's like multiple levels of LOD pop-in, which I think actually makes it look even more jarring. So the furthest LOD, let's just try to get far away. So see those trees way up there? Like this, where everything is unloaded, looks okay. Now we're gonna watch this tree here, right? This area here. So we're gonna move in towards it, and we're gonna start to see the first LOD change. Hold on, I saw a few just now. So there's that LOD change. So there, that popped in there. And then we get closer, and like more things pop in. And now I have to zoom in more and more things. There's like so many pop-ins happening. Oh, you can go right through the trees there. Okay. The trees look nice once you're in them. Oh no, I did that too slow. My encoding, my recording, no! Okay, there we go. I just had to restart the recording, so we're back in here. Oh look, there's some animals. They all are in sync. Okay. I think that's the least of our concerns right now. We are stockpiling our resources. Now, I could speed up the game up to 6 times. I'm just really wanting to look at this game, because this game has been in development for, I think, 6 years. And this isn't necessarily going to be a surprise to most people, right? Because there has been the free prologue of this game, which anyone can try. And I don't know if that has been updated to the point where it's where this release version is. But that might be a way to... Was I hallucinating just now? Did you see water over here? I went to look at the water and then the water was gone. Oh wait, no, it's the flood. Okay, I wasn't hallucinating. It does flood. But did it come up to here? Okay, it's gone. Wait. Does it just pop in and out? I don't know. I didn't notice when it was coming and going. Okay, the current season is shown up there. But okay, can we win this mission? We just need to export 100 more bricks and we win. Okay, cool. So I know there has been some water glitching in and out. Like visually. It looks a little bit textured, but generally the water looks nice. Environment sounds also match what's on screen. We can hear water and crickets here. We can hear house and building and people and money here. Ambient sounds, good job. But also, in some places, what is that noise of fire? I keep hearing fire, and I think it's a city sound. But nothing I do has fire unless maybe it's the potter? So, environment sounds in terms of like sounds changing where you look around, good job. But also there's some sounds I don't even know what they're referring to. Okay, so we win. We sold the bricks. Victory. So, that is the first mission in this game. We'll keep going and testing things. Production rate of goods. In the next... Oh, there's carryover effects. Okay, this is actually good. One thing that I've always wanted in city building campaigns is ongoing effects. Where if you do certain things, particularly like side objectives, if you do certain things in a mission, that having effects on future missions. Now in the Impressions games, you could stockpile personal funds and give them to the city in the future. But besides that, there were like a couple missions which were kind of glitchy about it as well. In terms of if you had soldiers and troops on one mission, they would appear on the next mission. But it was like implemented very weirdly and minimally in the Impressions games. But that's something that I always sort of wanted in city building campaigns. One thing that would really lean into that would be if there were two different ways to win a mission. Like, oh, you could do it militaristically or economically. And depending on which one you did, it would change the next mission and the statuses and situation there. That's how it worked in... That's how it works in a lot of RTS games, Battle Realms, for example. You could pick paths and win in certain ways, and it would change the path through the campaign. City builders don't really do that, but I think it would be nice if they did. So this, like, I did certain things, and because I did those things, it gives these effects. And I'm unsure if these percentages are based on my performance or if it's just a given, but sure. Wait, I pressed the wrong button. I wanted to proceed, but it was asking me if I wanted to keep playing, so I think I have to... I'm just gonna save the game here. And mission 1. That save? Okay. Bit of a lag on the saving there. Let me just check. End mission 1. Okay. So let's... Hold on, let me just check. Let me not do that. Can I end the mission from here? Mission complete? Okay, I think I just have to quit to the main menu. Okay. Let's go to the campaign. Continue campaign. How do I continue the campaign? This, I guess? 2? I don't know why this is confusing. As in... Save, load, and continue campaign and all of that. That is stuff that is like 30 years old at this point. But okay, I think this is mission 2. It looks different. Can I not change the difficulty? Hold on. Okay, before we continue, thank you to Nisash and Gawitern Milk for subbing on Twitch. Now, we're at the start of mission 2 here, and I think it's actually locked me into the difficulty. I forgot to change it on the first mission, and now we're locked into easy, and I don't know why that would be the case. Why would you lock the difficulty? If I want to up the difficulty, I should be able to do it, but I guess we're stuck on easy. But okay, let's be objective here and take a breather, because there's 2 ways to approach assessing a game. And the first one is compounding, right? So you can take the things that you experience and they add on to each other, right? If you have a good experience, then your overall experience goes up a bit. If you have a bad experience, it goes down a bit. Good experience, bad experience, and you can have like a series of good experiences and they compound, and it's like, oh wow, this is amazing! And that's compounding, and it works the other way as well. You have a slightly bad experience, slightly bad experience, slightly bad experience, slightly bad experience, and then like it's, oh, this is a terrible game. So that's one way to assess a game, and it's totally fair to do it that way. Another way is to just take each thing individually. This is a good thing, good. This is a bad thing, good. well, not good, but and not have each thing you experience influence your feelings about the next thing. Because the risk about the compounding thing is, oh, I've had this string of bad experiences, and then this tiny problem happens. For example, it's a bit hard to read my name up there. It's like legibility issue, right? If you squint, you can't really read the A at all, right? It disappears. Contrast rules design, all of that. And that's not a big problem. Like, that's like a tiny little design thing that it doesn't even really serve that much functionality. But if we have like all of these like rough experiences before, we look at that and it's like, oh, look at that! Oh, the legibility, right? And being objective, that is a minor issue. So I don't want to let the experiences compound when I'm assessing a game, because each little thing might mean something different for each person, right? Like, some people would care about that, some people would not. And if you don't care about that, then that would not affect your compounding experience. Whereas if that is something that you care about, then that would affect it. So on this screen, we've got two issues. I don't know why I can't change the difficulty. If it's locked, it should put a padlock here and tell me that it's locked. Because I thought this was a bug. It's like, why can't I change the difficulty? I guess it's locked, right? And then this is a legibility issue. I could compound these two and be like, but if you don't care about that, that wouldn't affect your assessment, which is why when I assess things, I try to take a breather and take each little thing as its own thing. That's a good thing, that's a bad thing. Right? And they don't affect my overall opinion until I want to go an overall opinion. Okay, so I guess we have to... Can I press start? There's no hover effect here. No, I can't press start either. What? Maybe the menu is bugged. Continue campaign. Like, I don't know why continue campaign has to load a save. Also, this is a glorious capital for Egypt, Kemet. I've not played Kemet. Among the inhabitants of the sand. How do I continue the campaign? What is this? If I load that, what is it? This is me testing something earlier. So this is the campaign. Yes. Start. It's starting now.
The turquoise was for the Egyptians.
I'm gonna skip that briefing. There's a button to continue campaign. Yeah, but the button to continue campaign opens up the load your save menu. And it's 1 and 2. Not knowing if it's locked or bugged. Thing is, I clicked start just now and it didn't do anything. I had to back out and come back and then I clicked start. New building type, decorations. Okay. Why does it give me this button? It doesn't do anything. Okay. Collapse. Okay. Architect. I know how that works. Export 800 jewelry. So we're locked in to easy mode. Because if I want to up the difficulty, I have to restart the entire campaign. And I don't know why that's a thing that has to happen. Oh wait, then again, I couldn't press start just now. Maybe that menu was bugged. Let me quit back out. Maybe the difficulty button was bugged. Let's find out. Campaign. Continue campaign. Let's load into this. Sure. No. So I can't increase the difficulty. I can start. Okay, no. You can't change the difficulty. See, the
turquoise was for the Egyptians.
The problem when there are bugs, and this is true of the Impressions games as well. When there are bugs, what happens is the player starts to not know whether something is happening because it's intentional and it's meant to happen that way, or it's a bug, right? So because I couldn't click on the start button, I didn't know whether I could actually change the difficulty or not. right? I didn't know whether it was a bug or intentional. And that starts to become a problem because then I don't know why things are happening. I appreciate them starting me zoomed in. That's kind of important. So hint, it seems on this mission, access to water is very limited. Above all, food cannot be produced, therefore we need to import it. Build a stockpile where traders bring food. The stockpile must be built on the road leading to the map entrance, otherwise the trader will not come. Oh, are there cloud shadows? I do love cloud shadows. Oh, but they disappear when they're outside of... Are those cloud shadows or are they like sand dunes? No, those are sand dunes. Okay. Where's my mini-map? Why do I not have a... Oh, I can't zoom out any more than this. Interesting mission. Okay, it's very, very closed in here. So, only buildings connected to the road will be counted. So, for now, just connect the 2 road points. Where was roads again? House and road. Connect the 2 road points. Oh, I see. Through this. Okay. The bazaar is used to distribute goods, yes. Fire station, well, houses, okay. You can also build several gardens near the houses to ensure that each house's desirability is high enough to be promoted, okay. Lets you scroll down quite far there. Okay. So it wants me to build all these things. In this space? Yeah, I can't build outside of this square. I don't know why it's limiting my space here, but sure, I guess. In that case, I should actually build the well first. So I'll place the well, like, here. And that pretty much covers all of that. And then I need to build 10 houses? I'm not gonna rotate them, because I don't feel like rotating them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then road. I'll need the road through there. And I guess I can... do that. And then I need to throw down administration, bazaar, fire station. Was that administration as well? Granary, stockpile, architects, fire station, and architect's post. Okay. Like, should I be closing this window? Like, I'm constantly at a bit... So it says incoming dwellers. From where? So I've built all the structures it asked me to build. I don't think anyone's moved in. The game is playing. Can I access other menus? What was the button to get to the world map again? Region map. Okay, our city is there. They want to buy copper and jewelry. They will sell meat and they buy turquoise. So I can open trade there. And then I can go back here. The last line is to click on every house. Perhaps the game wants you to do that. Don't think so. That'd be a weird requirement. No. Why is there a smaller area outlined? I assume this might be a temporary tutorial area. But I don't know why no one's moving in. Why is there an exclamation mark here? Not enough workers. Oh, well, yeah. No one's moved in. It says... Behind me it says incoming dwellers. Any messages? New building type, incoming dwellers. Dwellers are coming to the city. Is the game paused? No, that's paused. That's unpaused. I can speed it up. There they are. Okay. Why did it take so long for them to get here? It's because... Oh, it's letting me zoom out. Oh, don't do that. I'm gonna kill my... I can... If I look... Like... If I rotate there, I can actually see... Okay, so there's the actual edge of the map. It's kind of weird that they're doing this tutorial zone on a bigger map. But okay, there we go. People are now moving in. Can close the message tab. I don't know... Did you just see the problem I was having? There were 2 next buttons. And only one of them worked. I'm gonna drink some coffee. For those watching on YouTube, you can rewind and you can see my confusion. There was the right arrow, which was like next. But there was also the tick, which was next. Okay, I was clicking to go next, but I had to click to go next. Instead of a right arrow, what we were looking for is kind of a down arrow. It's called a check mark. So we now need to get some jewelry and process turquoise. Okay, so we can do that. I'm gonna unpause the game. And it's not highlighting the buttons anymore, which I guess is fine. Where production, it's testing that we know how to play the game. It's telling us to build it turquoise mine. We can rotate it to look various directions. Build a turquoise mine there. We need 2 turquoise mines. Where production, let's build another one. Look at that cyberpunky effect. House and road. We're gonna need oh, it's okay, so it's doing the tutorial by like restricting our, not just restrict, I don't know why it needs to restrict us this much. Like, I built all that. So these squares that are being put down, it's restricting my building ability. And I don't, like, I do get, like, making sure the player does the correct thing. But I feel like on the second mission, like, it didn't do this on the first mission. But okay, I built 2 turquoise mines, but it's not counting them? Oh, only if they have a road connection to a stockpile. Okay. So that means we need... Is it an administrative building? Stockpile. Okay. And then we need ware production, jeweler. Stockpile enabled for meat. There's meat. Oh, this menu is a bit tricky to navigate because it doesn't just show all the resources together. So if you are experienced with this game, you'll know where the resources are. But I want meat. Well, first, it wants me to stockpile 1,000 meat here. So that means other things will be coming in. So I probably want to limit how much turquoise comes in here. Let's limit that to 1,000. And then that's produced into jewelry, which is here. Let's limit that to 2,000. And then we need meat, which is gonna be... I've missed it. Where's meat? It's right next to jewelry. Okay. And that is gonna be 1,000 and enabled. Okay. Good. Let's click the proper next button. And now it wants us to build copper. So that'd be ware production, copper mine. We need 2 of them. Sure. And it needs to be connected to a warehouse, I assume. Stockpile. Then, wait, hold on. House and road. Okay, next. All right, it's now to do some trade preparation. I don't know why it's forcing me so harshly to go through all of this when we did trade on the first mission. So, set export policy. So yeah, we just need to go to region map. We need to open our... oh, that is open, I guess. And we want to open this trade route as well. And then to set the policy, I need to click on... Why can I not get to the export amounts from this menu? Economy tab? Okay. And then we need to set the export policy for... turquoise. We want to import meat. We want to export copper. And we want to export jewelry. I just noticed one issue. Remember when meat was next to jewelry earlier? It's not here. Just to check. Here it's jewelry, lettuce, limestone, linen, meat. Okay. If I go back to our stockpiles. It's meat jewelry. The order of resources is different in different menus. For reference, things like this, although I am trying to take things individually, what is compounding is how much energy it's required to process all of this information on my side, just personally in my brain. And each thing like that, where the order of resources is different, which is not the biggest thing, it takes a bit more of my mental energy to process that is what happened, right? Because I'm like, okay, this might be hard to learn, but it is learnable, the order of resources. So I just need to see, okay, the meat and jewelry is next to each other. Cool. All right, now we got to set those to export. So I know meat and jewelry are next to each other. So, okay, wait, I can't get to the menu from here. How do I set the export policy? This is where I see the exports. This is where I open the trade route. There's no button here to open the export policy. So I guess, yeah, right. It did tell me there's this economy tab. Okay, so I need to sell meat and jewelry. Meat. Well, I need to import meat. Now jewelry. Where's jewelry? It's not there. Okay, now I need to... Well, it was meat jewelry. So I assume jewelry might be lower down. So it might not be in the same exact order, but maybe it's still roughly in the same order. Meat was above jewelry. I scroll all the way down to the bottom. No jewelry. Okay, that means it's higher up. And then... Okay, there's jewelry. I find jewelry there. You know, like processing that is like, I have to put more effort into figuring that out. And once I figure that out, I'm like, okay, I now need to go back to my city and continue what we're being told to do. So now that we've done that, I've preemptively opened this trade route. So now see, there's the 2 next buttons again. Which one do I press? One is highlighted, but I have completed this task. So there's 2 pages here. So if I go here, no, I have completed this task. Okay. Like this is a UI thing that was messing with me before, right? I can click this button, but it does nothing. It highlights when I hover it, but it does nothing. There are buttons in this game where they don't even highlight when you mouse over, right? For example, on the economy, no, this one does highlight. This one highlights. The start game button. The start game button didn't highlight when I moused over. So yeah, this is like the next button. I have to click that. Okay. The frost wave on Ketchu Mefka. I'm assuming this is a historical event. So send help, 500 meat. Okay, so there is a request to send 500 meat. Okay. So I should probably make more room for some meat. So I'm gonna set this to 1005. If requests are gonna be coming. Oh. If you go over. What am I currently... No. Why can't I make this 1005? I am trying to be as I am trying very hard. Desirability. Due to an undesirable neighborhood, one of your houses cannot be upgraded. Okay, yes, I understand that. Production building is full. Okay. I assume a turquoise mine is full? How do I know which one is full? Like... A production building is full is a full-on pop-up, but it's not in the message menu. Bunny of Doomu, thank you so much. Workers, effectiveness, risk of fire, risk of collapse, risk of disease. Natural resources to turquoise. This is production. Okay. It keeps telling me something is full, but there's nothing... No resources in the jeweler. This is not full. So this has a quantity bar, but these do not have quantity bars. So when it says production building is full, there's actually no way to know which production building is full. No stockpile available. Trader. Okay. I assume they were coming to buy something. But sure. But also there was that request. Is that 55 what? Months? Days? Years? Send help. The frost wave. The frost wave. On Ketchu Mefka. The frost wave. The frost wave is raving. How much meat do I have right now? I have 1,500 meat. How do I send... There are 2 buttons here. Neither of them send it. This one? Okay. Send help. Figured it out. There's a lot of tabs here. Holding a festival, okay. Diplomacy. Complete. What is this? What's our main objective on this? Import 3,000 meat. Complete main event. If I click on it, it says 10,000 meat. But this is the same event as just now, but the number is completely different. But also, have I completed it or not? It says 0 here. It says 10,000 here. Salad fork saying, I agree with you that every bug design flaw should be judged on its own merit. But you're also seeing that a game that could be a tremendous amount of fun, but is exhausting. Yeah. Building browser. Oh, there's an encyclopedia. Okay, nice. It's nice that this stuff is here. This is good. This is nice. Decorative palm statues. I like how the decorative palm looks exactly like the natural palms. But it's like, hold on, where's decoration? Buildings of cultural heritage, decorative palm. Like, they live next to these things, and they're like, nah, we want ones you planted on purpose. That's how you know they're good. Okay, there, houses are evolving. Very nice. Just needed some extra palms. Striker Beast, thank you so much. This game is released. I've gotten a preview copy. So far there have been no religious buildings, but this is about to change. There are 2 main types, a shrine and a temple. I know how this works. Deities are not relevant at this stage of the game, so we'll return to them in future missions. I'm unsure why that was there. Is it because I was opening the religion tab or the building browser or something? Why did it tell me that? Mission description. These descriptions are way too long. There's a missing button here. City stats. Okay. Whoa, there's a trippy effect on this menu. Now, I'm not, this is not a criticism necessarily, it's just something that popped out to my eyes. The graphics in each window are slowly zooming in and out. You see that? I was like, I thought I was having a migraine because I have chronic migraines and they start as ocular migraines. So I came to this window and I saw everything was like, whoa. I was like, oh no. It's just the game. Okay, we can see the graph. Did you see how... Did you see how the... Do you see how it loads in? It's like it's a website. Okay, financial stats. It's a bit misleading for the right edge to always be 0. Like, it only... I'm not too sure what to say about that. I'm gonna close the menu. I'm gonna close that menu. What are we doing? There are filters down here, by the way. Architect's post. Okay, the overlay is being there. Nice. Okay. Rebuild button. Oh, if something collapses. Okay. Clone building button. Okay, nice. There's a clone building army panel. Okay, there is military at some point. Switch to building panel. Show building icons. Okay. Why are these all 0 out of 9? What's 0 out of 9? What's 1 out of 9? Resources? I mean, they all have access to well. What's 0 out of 9? Available workers. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Show hide building names. Show hide building names on hover only. Okay. But also, when you hide building names, the button goes bright red. When it's off, it's bright red. I feel like this should be reversed. Like, this should be off. And this should be on. If we're gonna do a bright red highlight anyway. What do we have to do to win? Export 2,400 jewelry? Okay. This menu needs to be able to right-click to close. That's something that was specifically implemented in Julius and Augustus. So we just need to export way more jewelry. Currently we have plenty of turquoise, so if I wanted to speed that up, I just need to have another jeweler and speed up the game. So at this point I am starting to zone a little bit because my brain is tired. Just to note, my brain is tired. I think we just have to export jewelry, right? Yes. Wait, we have to gather 216 dwellers? Why do we need so many dwellers? Why did it tell me to build so few houses if we needed this many dwellers? How many dwellers live in a house? Not. We need 216? Why? I'm actually okay that they're called dwellers. But why do we need 216 of them? So each house only houses 9 of them. And they can't upgrade anymore because they're asking for religious buildings. The lowest level houses 5 of them. So 216 divided by 9 is... how much? Milestone, settlement. Very nice. I guess I just spam up houses and see what happens. Not too bothered about... because there's no prosperity requirements, so... maybe that's enough? I never even tested if there's road pathfinding. Is there road pathfinding? A little bit. There's some detection of what can and can't be. But it can't do zigzags. It only does 1 turn. Okay. 24 houses? Okay, how many do I have? How many houses do I have? Because these might not evolve. So we might be stuck at 5 for some of these. These houses are evolving, so it goes up to 7, so some will be 7. So only if we max evolve all of these houses will we... Well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Let's just... I don't know why the population requirement is so high on this mission. We have 40% unemployment. Prosperity has to be 12. Oh, there is a prosperity requirement. Okay, well fine. Then let's start spamming. Can I click and drag these? Nope. I'm doing gardens because I fear the trees will lag my computer. If everything was trees. Okay. Okay, we've hit our target population. So now we just have to slowly demolish... Well, we're short one person. We can demolish the lower level houses. Victory. Okay, I did it. So I'm unsure of why we get these percentages, but sure. I scored 9,978. So when it says, do you want to continue playing this level? So this is also, this is very minor, but in terms of like the experience, I just won. I just won the game. It's a positive thing. So naturally, I wanted to click the check mark. But the check mark is to answer the question, do you want to continue playing this level? So if I want to continue the game after I win this map, I have to click X. The positive outcome I want, which is to continue the campaign, is I want to click X. And where does that send me? I don't know where it's going to send me to. To the main menu, where I then have to click Continue Campaign. And I have to continue this campaign. So this campaign is another game I started. I'm going to delete that. So there's only one, so I can't get confused. So this is Mission 3. So if I want to continue the campaign, I have to load this game. Yes. And this is like this is enough briefing for a mission. I can't change this. And we're still gathering jewelry, prosperity, beer, religion. Okay, so then it goes into the next mission. See, there's no mouse over highlight on the start button.
The kings of the Zero.
This stuff, which I do not care about. Like, this is a nice cinematic intro, but also, I have not clicked anything on this mission. And we've gotten 3 pop-ups. What is this? A website in the 2020s? Wait, before you go, would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? When you mouse over the top edge of the screen, there's sometimes a detector, because you want to close the tab, right? So you mouse over to close the tab, but at the top of the screen, there's a very thin overlay, where if you mouse over the top of the website, wherever you're looking, you mouse over that bit, it triggers the pop-up, where it's like, wait before you go! That's how they do that. But I just started this mission, and it's given me, like, let's just read everything that it's just given me. Hint. I think that was the first one that popped up. In this mission, you can't produce clay, and we need it badly for production. The neighboring cities, on the other hand, will be very happy to sell it to us. However, we will start, as always, by building the first settlement close to the raw materials we can use. You have learned about the rules of construction and the function of these buildings in earlier missions. Oh, there's a next button. We should go next. We have to scroll back up after clicking next. What is building range? I feel like after 2 missions, we know what that is. The function, this function, allows you to block the operation of a building outside of a certain circle. Oh, it's a work area. Okay, that's what it's talking about. Within which the building continues to operate. Why this is useful and how to understand it will be explained in the tutorial in a moment. For now, learn how to activate it. Click on the bazaar and its window. Click on the icon at the bottom right. I can't click on the bazaar, so we're gonna have to come back to this. New building type. Catching thieves and fighting aggressive animals requires a police station. Thieves will appear spontaneously. Enter through the map gate and try to rob whatever they can. Thieves. Sorry, I thought the animals were gonna rob us. The aggressive animals, they're robbing us. With a particular focus on the mansion and tax collector buildings. There are usually more thieves than one. One police station may not be enough. By looking around the area, you can see where aggressive animals are preying. It may not be wise to build a city near one of these, as these animals will start attacking those living in the city. Such attacks can be dealt with by the police, but keep in mind that wild animals can recover quite quickly, and a police force that fights animals is a paradise for thieves. There's a magnifying glass. Show me! Doesn't work. Okay, we'll click the tick. The mission introduction. Traveling to the beyond, Pharaoh Aha was pleased with your work in the distant and dangerous land of the turquoise terraces. Egyptian, Ketu Mefkat. Unfortunately, he did not manage to personally praise you and pour gold on you for your merits. I feel like that would be a bit excessive anyway. Because when you reached the walls of Memphis, he died after several decades of rule. Oh, okay. But, okay. He couldn't make it rain because he's dead. The saddened royal wife, Neithhotep. So I'm assuming this is all historically accurate, which is good. And their heir to the throne, Djur, remains immersed in mourning. So we know Djur because they were born on mission 1. That's a nice touch. Win conditions. Jewelry, gather 1,200. Prosperity, gather 12. Beer, export 2,800. Religion, gather 5. Okay. Click the tick. Now we're going back to the hint. Click on Bazaar. We haven't built a bazaar yet. Oh, we have to build all this stuff first. Okay. So, We've begun playing the mission, and I'm kind of lost. Okay, and it's limited. We're still going through the tutorial here, so it's limiting our construction to here again for some reason, and I don't know why. Like, if you want to limit the area, you've already limited my ability to scroll around. Like, what if I want to build here? It must be that if I built here instead of here, it would screw me somehow. Or it would screw the mission somehow. Why can't I build here? Like, there's no water for a well. Okay, well, I can build here. Why can't I build here? Or, like, over here. Why can't I build here? Like, why is it limiting me to here? So, if I would... Let me just get to the next page here. So it's asking me to build 15 houses. It's gonna do some roads. I can then do... does a well need a road connection? I guess not. And then it's asking for 15 houses? Like, it doesn't give me a lot of area to work with if it's asking me to build 15 houses, but okay. And then we need a bazaar. So the well does need a road connection to count for the objective. Then we need a fire station and architect's post and road connection. Bazaar enabled building range. So this is the, oh, this circle. Okay, so that limits the searching for warehouses. Road connection. So I don't know if I haven't done something or it's a bug. Road connection. I can't build out of this square. I got a road connection. So oh, don't zoom out, don't zoom out. Like, it now doesn't even let you look at what you just built. Oh, people are moving in, look at that. So I think I have to conclude my thoughts here, if I can piece my brain back together. There was another road symbol hidden behind one of the lower trees. I think my guess is I built the road connection, but it didn't register it as a connection because of how I clicked it. You'd have to rewatch the video in terms of how I clicked it, because it might not have counted as connecting. And then when I clicked again the road onto this tile here, it re-registered it as a road connection. Unbound the scroll wheel in key bindings. I mean, I like zooming into here and I like zooming out to here, and then I don't want to zoom out any more than this. There is still a lot of game to go. We have not touched military, but I think anything beyond this point doesn't matter too much for the initial assessment for launch. And let's say, because when it comes to optimization and performance issues, maybe it's an individual basis. So let's assume you have no performance issues. So let's remove performance issues out of the picture, but it is something that you should test quickly if you get the game. You should check if you can actually run the game how you want it to run. In terms of the visuals, even on maximum graphic settings, the pop-ins are very harsh, and personally I find them kind of distracting. Because it's not about how good something looks. Like, look at these houses, right? If all of them look like that, I'll be like, okay, that's what a house looks like. If all of them look like this, okay, that's what a house looks like. But because of the many varying levels of pop-in, you get half the houses look like that, half the houses look like that, and that messes with your ability to parse and understand what you're looking at in the moment. Because now, like, at a glance, you start to wonder, are those two different buildings? Because they look different. Right? They look different. So, at a glance, it's like, maybe those are two different buildings. Besides the fact that constant pop-ins are distracting, because there's a pop-in at almost every level of zoom. Here you can see some things coming in. Like, I don't know what's happening here. Like, there's these rocks here that only show up when you get on maximum zoom, and then for some reason when you zoom out to here, those rocks disappear. And then, like, there's the grass that disappears at a certain distance as well. You can see the grass there. And just in general, this was very tiring to play. Not because the mechanics don't make sense, but actually understanding what is happening. You can change in menu how far items fade away. Let me demonstrate. Let's go back to mission 1, where it doesn't lock you to all of these things. Exit to the main menu. Campaign. New campaign. New. Let's up the difficulty now because we can't do it later. Play.
The first Egyptians established terrible fields, mainly for spelt.
So on this mission, it doesn't start you. It starts you super zoomed out here. And I have to zoom in now because it's gonna lag my computer. Okay. Close the tutorial. Yes. So for some reason, mission 1 starts by allowing you to build anywhere. But in terms of the popping in, we can go to video graphics, and what controls where things pop in is the view distance. And I have it on maximum. So just to note, I have the view distance on maximum. The problem with the pop-in is that it's not just everything is popped in here and nothing is popped in there. There's no hard line. What happens is you have a pop-in at every level. So like these trees, they pop in like that. And then you zoom in and more things pop in. And then you zoom in and more things pop in. And then you zoom in. So then you think, okay, here everything is popped in. But you keep zooming in and generally more things begin popping in. So everything will look bad, but without the pop-in. Well, first I think like the zoom level should just like this is the maximum view distance. I cannot increase it anymore. Those trees are popping out. Those ones there. Like if I want to avoid these pop-ins, because if you start scrolling around, it gets very distracting. You see how many things are popping in and out? And then you see this here? These have loaded in 3D trees. That there is still a 2D sprite. So if I move over, those pop in. That there here, that tree there is a 2D sprite until I do that. And the 2D sprite looks nothing like the tree. See, these are popping in and out here. I would rather they didn't pop in. I would rather they stay as a 2D sprite. Because then I would be able to play at this level without all this stuff constantly popping in and out of the screen. So to avoid pop-in, you have to play at like this zoom level. And even then, you can see some things pop in and out in the corners and the edges. So you have to zoom into like this level. Nope, still popping in and out at the edges. Zoom into that level. Like maybe here? No, still popping in there. There. So maybe at this zoom level is where you can stop seeing the pop-in. Maybe that's why you should have the setting on minimum instead of maximum. Well, if I set it to minimum, which we can do, we can then go view distance, low. And you know what? Let's just do that first. Save and apply. It actually seems to not affect the pop-in all that much. Does that view distance not affect the pop-in at all? Happens regardless of texture quality? Yes. So at this zoom level, I should be able to crank things up. So cinematic graphics level. That's a simulation, not graphics. So let's save that. So you still see the things popping in and out. Now I can't zoom out too much because, like, see, like it's just there. The pop-in is just there regardless of settings. And I've overloaded my encoder. No, stop. Okay, stop the lag. So it's just a very, like, even on maximum graphic settings, the graphics are still quite distracting. And I feel like there's this attempt to make it look really good with these assets. And these assets look good, right? Like, obviously you can see some pixelization at this level, but even then it's not so bad, right? These are like nice looking trees. This is nice looking undergrowth. You can see the grass. This looks great. This looks really nice. But because they've implemented this at such high detail, it doesn't feel optimized. So then they do this harsh stuff where there's pop-ins. And thing is, it's like, even if you had like an RTX 5090, which I assume is releasing soon, and you could run this with like everything popped in all the time, that option doesn't exist to do. Like, you can't even turn off the higher graphics. Like, you have to, like it just pops in at that level regardless of the view distance. So this game it just doesn't feel like everything is just a little not quite there. What is this button? Oh, I can hide. But like even hiding this menu, it looks laggy, you know? And I don't think it's lagging. That might just be the animation. Like, see, the game's not lagging. That menu lags. Like, everything just feels like it's not quite there. It may be the 30 FPS. I mean, this is smoother than this. That's 15 FPS, if anything. See, the looking around is smooth. Get back to the main menu before something crashes. So just in general, this was a very tiring experience because a lot of the stuff, clearly it's influenced by older city builders, Children of the Nile, Pharaoh. And when it says, oh, build a clay pit, build a potter, yeah, sure. Like, I know that stuff automatically. It's like, oh, there's differences between shrines and temples. Yeah, obviously, right? I know that because of the games I've played. So I know what the game is doing. But when it comes to actually doing things in the game and understanding what the game is trying to tell me, it becomes very confusing. Like, buttons not working, or buttons working but not doing anything, or starting a mission and 3 windows pop up. One window blocks the main briefing of the mission and the objectives, you know? The first mission allowing you to build freely, but then mission 2 and 3 locking you to very small squares, which feels backwards. Like, you should be locking people on the first mission and then opening things up. Whereas the experience of having this, oh, you can build anything you want anywhere, and now you can't. It feels like you lost an ability as you progressed, rather than gained an ability. The historical accuracy, I'm not an expert, I'm not an Egyptologist, but it feels like it was accurate. I like the story beats of, you know, this person was born, this person has died, these things are happening. But it just was a very... I don't even know what the word is for it. It was a very rough-ish experience, but it was also very tiring. And yeah. So that's what Builders of Egypt is for launch. Cumbersome, Lizarin says. I think that was it. It felt very cumbersome. Like, just trying to do simple things were already very confusing. Like the resource list being a different order on different menus. Stuff like that. It's like, why? Why is it like that? Is it an accident? Is it like that for a reason? And those things, just bits of those things adding up, makes me more and more tired, which is why I'm like this now. So yeah, I think I've showcased this the best I can. And I really, really tried being objective and clear and understanding of how things are. And that's just how I'm feeling. And I hope you found this interesting and or useful. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.